Welcome to SFC demo. Let's start from the opposite direction. We will see how it's working and that it is working. So what we have there, we have the web client ready to load the page. Then we have a web server running simple server on port 8000. Then we have classifier in the normal regular direction, and then we have the reverse classifier which will send the traffic back to the chain and back to the web client. Of course, we have also running three service function and service function forwarders. A lot of virtual boxes there. They are running and ready. At first we need to configure everything, so we will there is also graph running on the classifier, on the regular one classifier, and we need to run the SFC demo test. So we'll run it, then we can see how the configuration is loaded. Service functions are configured. Now we will minimize it. Now classifier was configured, the regular one and also the reverse one. So everything is set. Web server is running, and now we just need to refresh the page and see what will happen. Hello service function chaining, so it's working. Okay, to prove it, you can see that on the first classifier several TCP packets were received and marked, and then they were routed down to the service function path, as you can see here. It will be a little bit more communication. Yeah, this is the IP of classifier, so packet was received, go to the first service function forwarder, from it to the first service function, to the second service function forwarder, second service function forwarder, and then it's kind of mixed because there is another packet which just arrived, and so on. And somewhere we could see also the reverse direction. For example, here packet received from service function forwarder 2, processed with service function 1, and so on. The same applies for this other service function and service function forwarders. So the regular direction, then the reverse direction, and it's there. You can see if I hit refresh, you can see that new GET request was sent to the web server. And now how we can configure something like this. Okay, we have 7 virtual machines running, and how to get to these virtual machines. At first, create a regular Xubuntu or Ubuntu machine, it doesn't matter. Ensure that his network is set to that it is using only one network adapter and is attached to net. Run the new virtual machine. Let's wait until it will be started. It will take some time because there are too many virtual machines running already. Okay, it's on. So I have already downloaded the demo scripts, so just then I will delete this one. Just unzip them and go into them Remember that we are on the first machine, nothing is set up, so we need to do well setup from scratch. We will run this first virtual machine setup script, which installs the whole environment, whole development, and also caraf and also classifier environment, so we can use this machine as a base for every machines we will place into the topology. So just to run this script, I have already run it, so I will not do it again. After it's completed, you can shut down the machine, the virtual machine. Okay. Okay, then go back to the VirtualBox. Now, once you have configured this initial virtual machine, you can simply clone it. Give it the name you want. You can use the names from the topology. So let me see if I have it there. Topologies, so there. So these names to keep consistency, to keep the consistency also with scripts and the host names and everything. So okay, go back to the VirtualBox. So name it Ubuntu 1, Ubuntu 3, Ubuntu web client and so on. I will just use clone because I have this already. Tick right into the MAC address, next, and do full clone. It will take some time, so I will cancel it and create all these 7 virtual machines at first. Now we need to configure network adapters of these virtual machines. First of all, we need to configure VirtualBox network adapters, so go to File, Preferences, Network, add a new network, network. It will create this network and edit it, and make sure that the IP is 10.0.2.1/24. Keep the DHCP enabled. So you should have this network here. Then we need 2 network host only adapters. So click add, edit the first one, make sure that the IP address is 100.1, is ending it with 100.1, DHCP disabled. This is really crucial to have this correct IP address, 100.1. Then the second adapter, just add it and make sure that it ends with 200.1. Okay, this is crucial one. With these 2 adapters we are separating the web client and web server. And now we need to make sure that all network adapters are set correctly to these Ubuntu machines. So starting with Ubuntu 1 network, and we have only, I cannot configure this because it is running, but if the build is not running, you can configure it. Make sure that it will be attached to network and the name will be network. The same applies for Ubuntu 2, network, Ubuntu 3, network. Then for the web client, use adapter 2. Adapter 1 should be disabled, so in adapter 1 you will have not this checkbox on, it will be off. Just adapter 2, host only adapter, VirtualBox host only adapter and adapter without the number. Use this one without the number. Okay, so Ubuntu web server, I powered it off to show you that the first adapter is disabled, so only the second one, host only adapter, but here VirtualBox host only Ethernet adapter with number 2. This is the difference between the web client. Web client has without a number, web server with a number. This is separating them. Now classifier and reverse classifier. So for the classifier we need two network adapters. The first attached to the network, named network, and adapter 2, host only adapter, VirtualBox, host only Ethernet adapter without number. So as you can see, Xubuntu classifier and Xubuntu web client are connected together with the host only adapters. Reverse classifier, adapter 1, the network, adapter 2, host only adapter, Ethernet adapter, host only Ethernet adapter with number 2. So they are connected with web server. And that's it from the VirtualBox site. Now let's run the Xubuntu one. It's already running, so I can go to it. Okay, I'll kill this process. So this is how would your web look like when it is cloned from the initial one. So there will be Apache Maven, the correct version for building Karaf, then SFC, which is wall repository, and then you will have this demo scripts. So go into demo scripts, Xubuntu 1, because we are on Xubuntu 1, and just run initial setup. Initial setup will set up host name and set up the network interfaces with correct IP addresses according to topology. It will also set up network routes, interfaces. As you can see, there are some. Okay. So after running this script, reboot the machine and then start agent and wait for configuration. Okay, you should do the same procedure for Xubuntu 3 and Xubuntu 2 and Xubuntu 3, but they will use different folders, the Xubuntu 1, 2, 3. Okay, once you have this, go to Xubuntu classifier, for example. This is the hardest one. Xubuntu classifier. This is not good. Okay. Xubuntu classifier. So, as usually, go to the demo scripts, Xubuntu classifier, run the initial setup. It's already existing because I have it run before. Reboot the machine. We can check what the initial setup is doing. So basically the same network interfaces, and then adding this script router is how to be started at startup, and this script is connecting these two network interfaces, the net and the host only. It's making a bridge between them and forwarding packets in both ways. Okay, then on this Ubuntu classifier you also need to build Karaf. So execute maven clean install inside the SFC directory as usually, and then just run Karaf. The repository will be already here from the initial setup. We don't need to debug it. Okay. Then go to the SFC test folder, and for this demo we will use the Python 3. This 3 is very important because otherwise it will not run correctly. SFC demo regression p. Okay, So I need to check if the carav is already running. It will take some time. Okay, this is for the classifier. Then we will have also this reverse classifier, which is the same. Go to demo scripts, to reverse classifier, run the initial setup, enter sudo reboot, and then just start the agent. Okay, we'll check the classifier. If the carav is booting, it's proceeding, so we can maybe start also the classifier here. The classifier startup scripts and the agent startup scripts are always in the demo script folder, so start agent. Okay. And now we need to set up the web server and web client. So web client, very simple. Just go to the demo scripts folder as usual for web client, run the initial setup and reboot, and then use the IP address of web server, which is 200.100, and port is 8000 as stated in the topology, and the port is obvious from the web server. When you run it, you will see it. And the last step is the web server. So go to demo scripts, to web server, run the initial setup as usually, reboot, and then there is a folder called web. Go inside it, and there is a script. The script is just simple Python server, and it will be hosting this index HTML. So just run the web server. That's everything you need to do web server. Okay, and now we are back to our configuration. So here we have, for recapitulation, the web server running, and we'll find the web client. To prove that in this case the topology is working also without service function chains or the render service path deployed, you can check that the request will arrive. That's because these machines see each other, but they are not seeing each other directly. They are communicating with each other through these classifiers, which are acting as routers also, which is what is obvious. Okay, oh sorry. Now there is some configuration from the bootstrap, so hopefully this is not a problem. Okay, and let's go to the service functions. We need to start them. So service function 1, we just need to go to Xubuntu 1 and run the start agent script. Okay, it's running. The same for Xubuntu 2. Run the start agent script. Xubuntu 3. Run the start agent script once again. Okay. So classifier, carav started. We will start this agent for making sure everything will work as expected. Reverse classifier. Can also restart this. And now we can run the tests. So from the classifier, run the tests. Service functions are configured, also the service function forwarders, and now also the reverse classifier, and and the regular classifier. We can check also the UI, but okay. Now let's send the HTTP request once again. Reload, and it's there. And as you can see, it was processed through the service functions, as I showed in the beginning. So that's all. If there are something is not well explained, please check with the topology. Maybe I can explain it in a really short time. So basically, important is that this web client has IP address 100.100, so subnet 100, and web server is in subnet 200. This is the classifier, and this is the reverse classifier. The classifier has two adapters, one which is acting as a gateway for the web client, the same is on the opposite side, gateway for the web server, and then the network adapter, which is connected to service function forwarders, and to the second classifier. So when I send the HTTP request from this web client without rendered service path deployed, it just goes to the gateway. The gateway is going to the network. The network is not going through these service functions and service function forwarders because rendered service path is not deployed, but it's just going right here in this network. This host and adapter, web server, and the back, and the way back, but without the service functions. When we deploy the rendered service path, then the process is similar. Request goes host on the adapter, the network, but because IP tables match this packet, it will not go directly to the classifier, to the second gateway and web server, but the match will cause it will traverse the rendered service path and go there. Backward, another match traverses rendered service path and goes to the web client. So that's all, and have fun.